A very good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. All the biggest news stories from India and across the globe coming up in the next 30 minutes, starting with the headlines. Parliament likely to discuss devastation caused by cyclones Gaja and Titli, calling attention on matter in Rajya Sabha, discussion under Rule 193 in Lok Sabha, bills on education reforms in the upper house. K. Chandrasekhar Rao to take oath as Telangana Chief Minister today. Chief Ministers of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan likely to be announced today. Congress authorizes Rahul Gandhi to decide. Tributes to be paid to martyrs on anniversary of Parliament attack. Vice President and several dignitaries to attend event in Parliament House premises. India will not let forces of hate succeed in targeting democratic values, says the President. New RBI Governor to meet top officials of public sector banks today. First meeting by Shaktikanta Das after assuming charge. Banking sector immediate focus as it is facing several challenges, says Das. And India to clash with the Netherlands in the quarterfinals of the Men's Hockey World Cup today. Belgium to take on Germany in the second match. England and Australia enter semi-finals of the tournament. Our top focus is Parliament, and several important legislative agenda are listed in both houses of Parliament today. In the Rajya Sabha, 3 bills are listed for consideration. These include the National Council for Teacher Education Amendment Bill 2018, the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Amendment Bill 2018, and the Representation of the People Amendment Bill 2018. The Nalanda University Amendment Bill 2013 is listed for withdrawal. And in the Lok Sabha, the New Delhi International Arbitration Centre Bill 2018 and the Consumer Protection Bill 2018 are listed for consideration and passage. Also, discussion is likely in both houses today on the issue of devastation caused by cyclones Gaj and Titli in some states of the country. In the Rajya Sabha, there will be a calling attention to matter of urgent public importance. V. Maitriyan, D. Raja, Kannimori, Tiruchi Siva and CM Ramesh will call the attention of the Home Minister to the situation arising due to devastation caused by cyclones Gaj and Titli in some states. They will also seek to know the action taken by the government in the matter. And in the Lok Sabha, there will be a discussion under Rule 193. Bharatruhari Mahtab and P. Venugopal will raise a discussion on natural calamities in various parts of the country, particularly in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Odisha, with special reference to cyclones like Gaj, Titli, etc. All right, our reporter Kriti Mishra is now joining us live from Parliament. Kriti, yesterday not much business could be transacted in both houses due to repeated disruption by the opposition members. Today there is a huge legislative agenda that is to be taken up in both houses, and there is a discussion as well that is slated to take place. What all can we expect today?
Well, Aishwarya, yesterday the House saw repeated disruptions over the Kaveri River issue and also the special status for Andhra Pradesh. There were repeated disruptions even in the first half and also in the second half. But the House did pass the National Trust for Welfare of Persons with Autism, Cerebral Palsy, Mental Retardation and multiple disabilities. So certainly that was an important bill that the House passed yesterday. Remember, these proposed amendments entail fixing of term for the Chairman of National Trust for the Welfare of Persons with Autism and other disabilities. The chairman made fervent appeals to the members to allow the House to function. Remember, he also underscored that the issue would not be allowed to be raised under Rule 267 that entails a suspension of business of the House. Yes. But he assured the members that he'll allow all the issues to be raised for discussion in the House. He made repeated appeals to the members. Now, as far as today the agenda of the upper house is concerned, there are important bills lined up. For instance, the right of children to free free and compulsory education. There's also National Council for Teachers Amendment Bill. There's also the Representation of People Amendment Bill. And there's also a very important calling attention motion on the cyclone, the destruction caused by Cyclone Gaj and also Titli. So certainly a very important day in the Rajya Sabha today, and it has to be seen how the day progresses ahead. Over to you, Aishwarya.
Right. Thank you so much, Kriti, for all those updates there from Parliament. We'll keep coming back to you in the subsequent bulletins. And as Kriti was telling us, on Wednesday, Rajya Sabha passed the National Trust for Welfare of Persons with Autism, Cerebral Palsy, Mental Retardation and Multiple Disabilities Amendment Bill 2018. The bill was moved for consideration and passage by Social Justice and Empowerment Minister Thawar Chand Gehlot. The bill was passed by a voice vote after a brief discussion. The amendments entail fixing the term of the chairperson of the National Trust for Welfare of Persons with Autism and Other Disabilities. And Gehlot said that the amendments will ease the procedure related to the appointment of a chairperson. After the amendments, the chairperson will have a 3-year term, and the election process for his successor will be initiated 6 months before his tenure ends and completed before he retires.
2012 में भी प्रयास हुए, 2013 में भी प्रयास हुए, 2015 में भी प्रयास हुए, 16 में भी प्रयास हुए। 4 बार विज्ञप्तियां जारी करके कमेटी ने निर्णय करने की कोशिश की, परंतु योग्य कैंडिडेट नहीं मिले। इसलिए हमने इसके नियमों में संशोधन कर दिया और योग्यता के दायरे को कुछ सरल कर दिया है। परंतु अब इस एक्ट में संशोधन करने की आवश्यकता है। वो इस बात का संशोधन कर रहे हैं कि अध्यक्ष पद पर कोई भी व्यक्ति 3 साल रहेगा, उसके बाद नई नियुक्ति होगी और वो नियुक्ति की कार्रवाई 3 साल के 6 महीने पहले अर्थात 2.5 साल में प्रारंभ कर दी जाएगी और अध्यक्ष के रिटायर होने की तारीख इसकी नियुक्ति कर दी जाएगी। और अगर आकस्मिक रिक्ति कोई होती है तो जो अध्यक्ष के चयन की प्रक्रिया है और जो योग्यता का दायरा, उस योग्यता में आने वाले व्यक्ति को ही टेम्परेरीली नियुक्त किया जाएगा। बस ये 2 प्रकार के केवल संशोधन इसमें है। मैं सदन से अनुरोध करना चाहूंगा कि वो इसको सर्वानुमति से पारित करें।
And on the second day of the winter session on Wednesday, there were disruptions on several issues in the Rajya Sabha. Apart from the passage of a bill after the lunch break, no legislative business could take place. Despite the chairman's assurances that he would give members time to raise their issues, the disruptions continued.
There were disruptions on the second day of the winter session of Parliament in Rajya Sabha due to opposition uproar. As zero-hour proceedings began, AIA-DMK members raised the issues concerning farmers of the Kaveri Delta. Members of some other parties also entered the well of the House in protest. The chairman assured members that he would give time to all to raise their issues, but to no avail. The chairman then adjourned proceedings till 12 noon.
Honorable members, I have received notices under 267 by Sri D. Raja, Srimati Vijaya Satyanath, please. Tirch Siva, Sri Anand Sharman, Vishnu Viswam, K.K. Ragesh, Derek Oberyn on various issues. I have not permitted them, but I will be allowing them through other notices. So, I will be allowing discussion on other provisions. If this is the way, then you don't want the House to run, I leave it to you. I am willing to take up all the issues. I have no problem whatsoever. If this is not the way, I am not going to be dictated by these ways. I appeal to all the members who are there in the well, Tamil Nadu floods, Kerala floods, all other issues. Every issue will be taken up in the House.
When the House resumed at noon and Chairman Naidu announced the beginning of question hour, AIA-DMK MPs entered the well. The chairman appealed to them to leave the well. However, when the members stayed put, the chairman adjourned the House until after the lunch break.
If the House want to function and discuss issues of public interest, we will do it. If you don't want, declare it, and then why unnecessary waste of time and waste of money of the people? So many issues are there. The House is adjourned to meet at 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
In the post-lunch session, the government introduced the National Trust for Welfare of Persons with Autism, Cerebral Palsy, Mental Palsy, Mental Retardation and Multiple Disabilities Bill for passage. Despite brief interruptions from some members, the bill was passed after a brief discussion. With inputs from Panchanan Mishra, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And Lok Sabha was adjourned twice on Wednesday following protests by members from various political parties on multiple issues. First, the lower house was adjourned till noon following protests by the Congress, Shiv Sena and AIADMK members. As soon as the question hour began after arbitrary references to 11 former members, several leaders belonging to these parties trooped into the well carrying banners and shouting slogans. The parties were demanding a JPC probe on the Rafale deal, construction of Ram Temple in Ayodhya and the justice for farmers of the Kaveri Delta. And after the House assembled at noon with the protests continuing, the Speaker adjourned the House till Thursday. Let's get you some other news now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address BJP MPs today at the BJP Parliamentary Party meet. The Prime Minister's address is important as it comes in the backdrop of the recently concluded assembly elections where the Congress won 3 states. The Prime Minister is expected to touch upon the election results and throw light on the road ahead as the party gives a final touch to its campaign for the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. Following this meeting will be a 7-hour marathon meeting of the BJP's key organizational leaders at the party's national headquarters. Party President Amit Shah will preside over the meeting. The meeting is scheduled to start in the afternoon and is slated to go late into the evening. Amit Shah is expected to elicit feedback from party workers on a host of organizational issues. And now moving on to government formation developments in 5 states where elections concluded recently. Well, after his party swept the Telangana polls, TRS chief K. Chandrasekhar Rao is set to take oath as the chief minister today. He will be sworn in by Governor ESL Narasimhan and this will be his 2nd consecutive term as the chief minister. He was formally elected as the leader of the legislature party on Wednesday. After the meeting of the legislature party, K. Chandrasekhar Rao met the governor to stake claim to form the government for a 2nd time. KCR led his party to a thumping 2/3 majority, winning 88 out of the 119 assembly seats in the state polls. He himself won his Gajbel seat with a margin of over 50,000 votes. Congress won 19 seats in total, while its ally TDP got only 2 seats. AIMIM won 7 and the BJP bagged 1 seat in the state. News from Mizoram, where Mizo National Front President Zoram Thanga will be sworn in as the Chief Minister of Mizoram on Saturday. Governor formally invited Zoram Thanga on Wednesday to form the next government after receiving the signed notification of the result from the Election Commission officials. The governor also dissolved the state legislative assembly during the day to pave the way for the constitution of the next assembly. The MNF, remember, returned to power in Mizoram after a decade by bagging 26 seats of the 40-member state legislature, which saw the crumbling of the last Congress bastion in the northeast. The BJP opened its account for the first time in the state, bagging 1 seat. And in Madhya Pradesh, the Congress party has taken claim to form the government after it emerged as the single largest party with 114 seats. Samajwadi Party and Bahujan Samaj Party have announced support to the Congress and government formation. However, the Congress is yet to announce the chief minister in the state where it will form government after 15 years. Newly elected Congress MLAs have asked party president Rahul Gandhi to nominate the new legislature party leader. At a meeting in Bhopal on Wednesday evening, they unanimously passed a resolution authorizing Rahul Gandhi to name the CLP leader. Senior Congress leader A.K. Antony and Bhanwar Jitendra Singh attended the meeting as the central observers.
जो आदरणीय एंटनी जी से और भंवर जितेंद्र सिंह जी से चर्चा करना चाहते हैं, वो चर्चा भी कर रहे हैं, पर सर्वसम्मति से ये निर्णय लिया गया है कि विधायक दल का नेता आदरणीय राहुल जी तय करेंगे.
And in Rajasthan, a Congress delegation met Governor Kalyan Singh on Wednesday evening to stake claim to form the government in the state. Ashok Gehlot, Sachin Pilot and AICC General Secretary Avinash Pandey were part of the delegation that met the governor. Here too, the Congress party is yet to decide on its chief minister. In a meeting, the Congress Legislature Party in Rajasthan also passed a single-line resolution authorizing party President Rahul Gandhi to decide the name of the chief minister. Party Central Observer for the state, K.C. Venugopal, sought individual opinion of legislators in the meeting. Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot are considered the front-runners for the post. Remember, the Congress party won 99 and its ally Rashtriya Lok Dal got 1 seat out of 199 seats in the state. BJP won 73 seats.
आज तमाम विधायकों से जो हमारे पर्यवेक्षक थे वेणुगोपाल जी और अविनाश पांडे जी, उन्होंने एक एक करके सब विधायकों से मुलाकात करी, तमाम नेताओं से चर्चा करी और हमने कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष को अधिकृत किया है कि वो नेता का चुनाव करें। लेकिन पूरे पार्टी का जो प्रदेश भर का फीडबैक है, उसकी विस्तृत जानकारी फीडबैक दोनों पर्यवेक्षक आज रात को गए हैं दिल्ली में और कल प्रातः राहुल गांधी जी से मुलाकात कर वो फीडबैक देंगे। उसके पश्चात निर्णय लिया जाएगा।
And also in Chhattisgarh, elected Congress MLAs have authorized party President Rahul Gandhi to decide on the chief minister. Now, there are reports that a final announcement on the names of the 3 states of Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh is likely after Rahul Gandhi meets the observers appointed for the states and other senior leaders today. Reports say that among the top contenders as far as Chhattisgarh is concerned are Lok Sabha member Tamradhwaj Sahu, State Party Chief Bhupesh Baghel, Leader of the Opposition in the outgoing Assembly T.S. Singhdeo and Senior Leader Chandan Das Mahant.
उन्होंने सर्वसम्मति से एक प्रस्ताव पास किया है कि यहाँ का जो सीएलपी नेता जिसको बनाना है वो राहुल गांधी जी एआईसीसी प्रेसिडेंट के ऊपर छोड़ दिया गया है और एआईसीसी प्रेसिडेंट उसका निर्णय लेंगे.
And talking about some other election results, the BJP has won the highest number of seats in the first day of counting of Panchayat polls in Assam on Wednesday. The State Election Commission has said that 45% of declared results is going in BJP's favour, followed by the Congress. Addressing a press conference, Assam State Election Commissioner N.H. Bora said that the counting to all the 26,808 posts would continue the whole night and was likely to take entire Thursday as well. Ballot papers were used in the Panchayat polls. The elections were held in 2 phases on 5th and 9th of December. Out of some other news now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that India is set to increase its public health spending to 2.5% of its GDP by 2025. He was speaking at the inauguration of the 4th Partners Forum 2018 in New Delhi on Wednesday. He also said that India is one of the first countries to advocate focused attention on adolescents and to implement a full-fledged health promotion and prevention program for adolescents. The Partners Forum meet this year will focus on improving multi-sectoral action for results, sharing country solutions and capturing the best practices and knowledge within the health sector and among related sectors. Union Health Minister J.P. Nadda also addressed the inaugural session, among others.
We are committed to increasing India's health spending to 2.5% of GDP by 2025, reaching to more than $100 billion. This will mean an actual increase of 345% over the current share in just 8 years. We will continue to work for the betterment of people.
On to the other top story this morning. The newly appointed Governor of Reserve Bank of India, Shaktikanta Das, will today meet the CEOs and MDs of public sector banks to discuss issues facing the banking sector. Das on Wednesday took charge as the RBI governor after Urjit Patel stepped down from the post on Monday. And in his first interaction with the media in Mumbai on Wednesdays, Das said that he would adopt a consultative approach and move quickly to meet bank chiefs and other parties to tackle issues which are facing the sector.
I will sort of uphold the autonomy and the integrity and the, the credibility of the Reserve Bank of India as an institution. And I would believe that the autonomy and independence of the RBI as an institution is very important, and it will be intact.
And India's industrial output grew at an 11-month high of 8.1% in October. In the same period last year, IIP had grown by 1.8%. This year, the growth was spurred by mining, power and manufacturing sectors, coupled with higher offtake of capital as well as consumer durable goods. The manufacturing sector, which constitutes 77.63% of the index, recorded 7.9% growth in October, while the mining sector posted 7% growth during the month, and the power sector output also grew by 10.8% in the month of October, while the capital goods sector saw a 16.8% output growth in the month. And in more good news for the Indian economy, retail inflation cooled to about a 1.5-year low of 2.33% in the month of November. The consumer price index-based retail inflation in October was revised upwards to 3.38% from 3.31% earlier. In November 2017, the retail inflation stood at 4.88%. The nation is paying homage to the martyrs who sacrificed their lives while defending Parliament House in the terror attack on this day in 2001. A function to pay floral tributes to martyrs who sacrificed their lives during terrorist attack on Parliament on 13th of December 2001 will be held in Parliament House today. Politicians across party lines will pay the floral tributes to the victims of the attack. Vice President and many other dignitaries will attend the function. Meanwhile, President Ramnath Kovind, who is in Myanmar, in a tweet message said that India gratefully remembers those martyred while defending Parliament from terrorists on this day in 2001. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said that 13th of December is a day to pay homage to those who were martyred and to remind ourselves of the need for a united resolve against a common enemy. Naidu said this in an article titled "When Terror Came to the House," published in a leading daily. President Ramnath Kovind is in Yangon on the final leg of his state visit to Myanmar. And upon his arrival in Yangon, President Ramnath Kovind visited the holy Shwedagon Pagoda, which is believed to be possessing relics of 8 strands of hair of Gautam Buddha. Later, he said he laid a wreath at Myanmar's martyrs' mausoleum, where he honored the supreme sacrifices of General Aung San. And earlier on Wednesday, President Ramnath Kovind addressed the Indian community in Myanmar and invited them to invest in India. In addition to signing 2 agreements with India, Myanmar has also announced a visa-on-arrival facility for Indian tourists entering the country through the international airports.
The important outcomes of this visit, of course, was that the visa on arrival will be given for Indians arriving by air. And the hope is that this will increase tourism between the 2 countries and therefore people-to-people exchanges. We are also hoping that in fairly short time, the bus service from Imphal to Moreh and Mandalay to Tammu will also begin. This again will be both from the connectivity perspective and from the people-to-people perspective an important development.
In Naypyidaw, President dedicated to the people of Myanmar the Advanced Center for Agricultural Research and Education in Yenzin Agricultural University. He also launched a mobile app on agriculture technology. All the international news now. UK Prime Minister Theresa May has won a vote of confidence in her leadership of the Conservative Party by 200 to 117. The Prime Minister won the confidence vote with a majority of 83, with 63% of the Conservative MPs backing her and 37% voting against her. The secret ballot was triggered by 48 of her MPs angry at her Brexit policy, which they say betrays the 2016 referendum result. And speaking in Downing Street, May vowed to deliver the Brexit people who voted for, but said that she had listened to the concerns of the MPs who voted against her. She added that she would be fighting for changes to her Brexit deal at an EU summit on Thursday. Jacob Rees-Mogg, who led calls for the confidence vote, said that losing the support of a third of her MPs was a terrible result for the Prime Minister and called on her to resign.
Whilst I'm grateful for that support, a significant number of colleagues did cast a vote against me, and I've listened to what they said. Following this ballot, we now need to get on with the job of delivering Brexit for the British people and building a better future for this country. A Brexit that delivers on the vote that people gave, that brings back control of our money, our borders and our laws.
All the sporting action now. England and Australia have entered the semi-finals of the Men's Hockey World Cup. In the first quarter-final match that was played in Bhubaneswar, England defeated Olympic champions Argentina 3-2. Middleton Barry, Colin Will and Martin Harry were among the goal scorers for the English side. While in this other quarter-final match, two-time defending champions Australia defeated France 3-0. And in today's quarter-final matches, Olympic bronze medalist, Germany will face Belgium, while in the second quarter-final match, hosts India will take on the Netherlands. News from the world of badminton now. Ace Indian shuttler PV Sindhu defeated world number 2 and defending champion Akane Yamaguchi of Japan in her opening match of the World Tour Finals. Sindhu defeated Yamaguchi 24-22, 21-15 in her opening women's singles Group A game. Sindhu started the game with a 9-4 head-to-head record against Yamaguchi. And next, she will face Tai Tzu Ying of Taiwan today in her second group match. And in the men's singles, 7-seeded Samir Verma lost his opening game 18-21, 6-21 to world number 1 Kento Momota of Japan. And he will next face world number 10 Tommy Sugartia of Indonesia today in his second group game. And the top 2 players from each group will qualify for the semi-finals, after which a knockout draw will be conducted. And that's it from me and my team in this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.